Hello, welcome or welcome back to Misinformation in Science and Society. Here to listen, not to judge. I'm Annie, and today with us we have Lynn Perillo, who is a paralegal in Canada. Hello.
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
You're getting so big.
Oh, yeah. Um, okay. So should we just get started? Um, so could you please introduce yourself and what do you do?
My name is Lynn Perillo. I'm a licensed paralegal in Windsor, Ontario.
Nice. Okay. So I know that getting a degree in paralegal studies is a pretty hard process. So how was that for you and why did you go into law?
Why did I go into law?
Yeah.
Well, I had 5 children,
Mm-hmm.
so I stayed home a lot.
Mm.
And then once the kids were all in school, I decided to go back to school and do something that I thought was going to make me feel better.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So at an older age, I went back to school,
Mm-hmm.
finished high school,
Mm-hmm.
went on and did a law clerk program at college. And then I went into the paralegal program in college. And I've been my own boss now for about 8 years.
Good for you. That's so inspiring.
Thank you.
Um, so because this is mostly about misinformation, was there a legal case that you dealt with or learned about that involved misinformation?
um, well, with the law, it works pretty differently. It's not so much about misinformation, it's about you work with the information that your client gives to you.
Mm.
So my client tells me one story,
Mm-hmm.
and then the legal representative on the other side, their client tells them a different version.
Oh.
And what we do is we go to court, we have trials,
Mm-hmm.
and we argue our best position, and the other side does the same from their client's perspective. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's a judge sitting there that says, which one of us did it better?
Uh-huh.
So hopefully you do a good job anyway.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So why do you think truth is so important? And do you think in society, misinformation is an issue right now?
Well, over the last, 2.5 years with the pandemic and everything, we're all
Mm-hmm.
relying on scientific information on the COVID-19,
Mm-hmm.
Omicron, and now monkeypox, for goodness sakes. I mean,
No.
and the information we get is made up of a group of individuals that I don't know how specific science works.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just their interpretation of science that tells us that we all need vaccines? Mind you, I'm all vaccinated up and everything, but we only know what the scientists and the government want us to know.
Mm.
So I have to put my faith that the scientists are making their best argument. That's the way
Mm.
I look at it.
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting how sometimes these things are kind of politicized, and that might affect the information spread and stuff like that. Um,
I can agree with that. Very, very smart way of looking at it. But yeah, no, I can agree with that.
mhm. So, because now information is mostly spread through technology, do you think the invention of technology has an impact on spread of misinformation or how much there is or um
I think that computers and cell phones has put out a lot of misinformation, for one.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I think it's put out too much information.
Mm-hmm.
Three, it has made everybody lazy.
Mm-hmm.
They say that technology is advancement, but technology keeps, well, for the last 2.5 years, students online. You're on a computer all day long.
Uh-huh.
You don't get recess to go outside. You don't get, you get a little bit of time for lunch to go outside, but then you're at your computer, you're doing homework, you're not outside enjoying your childhood.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it makes things like doing something like this. You're in
Mm-hmm.
Illinois, I'm in Ontario, and we're having a conversation. That
Uh-huh.
that part of it I like because it helps me to keep in touch with family that I don't get to see very often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like last year remote, I had like my gym class, but it was like on Zoom and like the teacher would tell us to like go outside, take a walk or something, but then like no one would do it. Because like everyone's like
Yeah,
lazy and like it's too much work. And then so like there was no way of making sure anyone's doing anything. And like I ate
right.
like I sometimes ate lunch in front of my computer, like so I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Nobody is as active as they used to be with the advancement of technology.
Yeah.
Nobody is, I mean, if you're doing your job, say you're a first responder, you have
Mhm.
somebody sitting there with their cell phone watching everything that you're doing. It's
Uh-huh.
not a time to have to second guess because your face might get plastered on Facebook or
Uh,
Instagram.
mhm.
Privacy's gone out the window too.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So what do you think the worst type of misinformation is? Like like um what it's like about? Like what's the worst type?
Hmm. With technology, what's the worst type of misinformation that I believe is out there?
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, because I'm in Windsor, which is very close to Michigan, you know
Uh-huh.
that,
Yeah.
we are very Americanized in Windsor.
Oh, okay.
We have more access to US political information and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump. We're not even going to go there, okay? But I do believe
Mm-hmm.
that because of technology, a lot of misinformation was put out there about elections. Like, who do you believe?
Mm.
Who do you not believe? And that there's so much information that you get technologically burnt out. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to see it on TV. I don't want to read about it on the computer.
Yeah.
It's just somebody on there says the sky is blue and somebody else says the sky is gray. Who do you believe? You got to go outside. You got to look.
Yeah. And like, for example, like on Twitter, like anyone could say anything and you just like read it and like you don't know like if it's right or wrong.
You don't know if it's true or not.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have to make your own conclusions? Sounds like way too much thinking to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Um,
So are you still in school in Chicago?
no, school ended, I think, on the 9th. So like June 9th was like my last like final exam. And then I've been going to this like coding camp thing.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
yeah, it's like downtown, like Chicago, like 9 to 5 every day. It's like really fun. And but I think it just ended, and starting next week, I'll have summer school. So I'll be like
Okay.
taking a school class during the summer, so I don't have to do it like during the school year.
Yes, it makes sense. It makes sense. You're
Yeah, and
utilizing your time that
mhm,
you're keeping your imagination and your brain working,
mhm,
which if I could go back, I would
yeah,
do a lot of things differently. I would have paid more attention in school because there's nothing worse than being an adult student.
mhm. Yeah,
But
that's me.
very
Therapist.
impressive.
Thank you. Um, so this is like not really related to misinformation, but who is like your role model?
Wow. I'm going to say something that you probably wouldn't expect, but
Okay.
your dad
Oh.
is an individual that I look up to. Yes, I know he's younger than I am, but I've been able to watch him for the last 10 or 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
His dedication to education,
Yeah,
to make himself better. I mean, he works really hard
for sure.
and he achieves things though from that hard work. And he's so humble about it. Like he doesn't brag that he is a very intelligent individual. He doesn't brag about that. And when you want him to acknowledge his hard work and his accomplishments, he blushes, he gets embarrassed. So when I look at you, at your dad, he makes me, when my chosen career of a paralegal
Mm-hmm.
gets stressful or it becomes very overwhelming,
Mm-hmm.
I look at him and I can talk to him and he'll say to me, today is just one day. Tomorrow is another day. Get up,
Mm-hmm.
put one foot in front of the other and deal
Yeah.
with that day. So his ideal of, if you have a bad day on Monday, when you wake up Tuesday, say it's going to be a better day. The only
Mm-hmm.
one that can change my stress or my overwhelming is me. So I have to figure out how I do it. And when I see him overcoming obstacles, when I saw him take his oath for Canadian citizenship, I mean, he's accomplished more in the time that I've known him than I had in a really long time. So what I would have to say, your dad
Oh.
would be a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I should tell him that.
Oh, yeah. Um, that's so interesting. I definitely also look up to him very much. Um,
Well, you've picked a smart choice because I think your dad, whatever your future holds, your dad will be there for support 150%.
mhm.
That's awesome. That's good.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Going back to like school, I know you said you went to school like as an adult, like after years of like not going to school. So like, did you like have like imposter syndrome? Like, um, like I don't know if it's like when you don't feel like you really like belong there, but like I don't know, like if you felt that and like how you dealt with that, if you did.
When I first went to school,
Mm-hmm.
it was interesting as an adult
Yeah.
how I could adapt easier. But the paralegal program was it had a lot of information in it. And sometimes I would get overwhelmed
Mm-hmm.
and it was making myself come back. I don't think it made me that I didn't fit in, but what it did was made me come to a conclusion that out of all the areas as a paralegal that I could practice in,
Mm-hmm.
I needed to pick 2, 3 tops and become
Mhm.
the best that I can be in those 3 areas. And then it's not so overwhelming.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you definitely have probably had like a different perspective than like the younger people, and so like you
That
think
they think they have to do it all, but you don't have to do it all.
exactly.
Get very good in 1, 2, 3 areas of whatever
Mhm.
your career is and focus on that and become the best that you can be at that. And
Yeah.
then once you get really good at that, if you choose to add another area, like for me, another area of law would be a human rights.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in that, but
Yeah.
moving into it, I don't jump in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking my time, I'm learning the forms all over again. But I also follow, I have a partner in my office and he does it really well. So I watch him. I help him do his forms. I
Mm-hmm.
watch him when he does a human rights tribunal hearing. And it's interesting.
Yeah, that's very smart and like
I'm
yeah. Um,
a lot older. I have to do things a lot slower.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that's pretty much all the questions I had. So like to wrap this up, do you have like any advice for like people or like maybe specifically like teens?
It depends on the teenager. I mean, not all teenagers are bad. I
Mm-hmm.
don't believe they are. Enjoy your teenage years, enjoy
Mm-hmm.
your childhood, enjoy your younger adult life. You
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of years ahead of you. So
Yeah.
you pick and choose
Uh-huh.
what you want to do. Because if you choose a career path and you're not happy with it,
Mm-hmm.
find another one.
Mm.
Don't continue with something that you're not comfortable with, or like you said, you don't feel like you belong in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Find what you're interested in and go for it. And you're never too old to go back to school.
For sure.
You're
Yeah.
not. I had a 93-year-old aunt that graduated with a Bachelor of History from the University of Michigan. She was 93. So if anybody knows you're never too old to go to school, I know it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so impressive.
93 years and she graduated with honors.
That is so
Isn't
impressive.
that is unbelievable? So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. All
So
right.
this has been a very interesting conversation. I'm glad I did it. I told your dad I was nervous. I said, if she asks me science questions and I don't know the answers, I'm going to feel really dumb.
No, you're good. No, I was kind of nervous, but this was really fun and you like provided a lot of like new perspectives. So thank you so much for that.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it very much, and you enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
You too.
All right. Have fun. Good
Thank
luck.
you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.